Hello, people. Um, if you think my hair is a little off the vogue uh, fashion thing, well, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So I'm trying out something new here. Now, the video today is about. Now, it's not going to sound very usual, and may even sound a little crass. But then sometimes the most basic things are not very comfortable things. Now, I was thinking along the lines of the Buddha and his enlightenment, yeah. And I was thinking about what was so special about it. And they often keep saying the Buddha's seat, yeah. You sit, it's a meditative pose. He sat under the Bodhi tree and all of that. But I often find that sometimes the most brilliant ideas come, and I've often heard this from other people, come in the privacy of your restroom. Yeah? And I think the Buddha's seat really is your bowel and your pelvis. The more you keep your, they say cleanliness is where godliness is. So when your bowel and your excretory organs are well maintained and meant clean, there is more space for godliness to fill in. Yeah. So incidentally, the bowel also is said to be the second brain of a person. It's called the enteric nervous system. You can look it up on Google. And the enteric nervous system, when you have your gut working fine, have you heard of gut instincts and all of that? That's when your gut is clean and, not constipated, diarrheal, and any of those troubles happening. Then your brain, your gut instinct is working very well. And when your gut and your brain is working together, then you have a fine instrument. And when you have, in the studies that I've had, I've trained in BCST, which is biodynamic craniosacral therapy. And one of the important things I did learn from there is that there are 4 important nervous complexes. Excuse me. One is the brain. That's one neural complex, where there is more nervous network or a system of nervous network. The second one is your heart, because there is a complex. It's an intricate nervous formation, which in a way you can call it as another form of a brain. Yeah. Another one is your gut, your intestines. There's a very interesting nervous complex there. Yeah, synapses there. That can itself be called as a brain itself. It has been called as a second brain. Now it's kind of debatable which is going to be first and second and all of that, but you do have these. And the third is your pelvis. Yeah. A lot of people, I've often maintained for a long time that a lot of people are stuck in their pelvis. It's like they have their head in their pelvis and they can't think straight. Yeah. So these would be the kind of people who are more hormonally functioning than sex hormonally functioning than they are thinking with any clear sight. And for that, they need to start looking ahead, yeah, rather than being stuck in their what I would call as self-constipation. They're constipated in themselves, so that they are not able to see beyond themselves, yeah, to see anything outside of them. So there are different kinds of constipation. There is intellectual constipation. There is actual, intestinal constipation. There's also emotional constipation. So there are different kinds. And there is this self-constipation, what I call. So one of the easy ways to get the system moving is to keep your gut and your excretory organs clean and well maintained. So that will have your different brains working. And I would call that as the beginning of the Buddha's seat. The Buddha's seat it's kind of like a representative, but then it kind of encapsulates the idea that when you keep the seat, the bottom line, clean and well functioning, then the process of enlightenment begins. See how this shapes your way of thinking, how this could bring maybe some new insights in how you live your life. But nevertheless, it's a good habit, keeping the waste periodically moved and the organs responsible for them moving. Cleanliness does lead to godliness. You need to discover this for yourself. But here's another perspective which might make the difference, that makes the difference. Thank you for listening.